Welcome back to part 2. If you haven't seen part 1, please go check it out. Or I mean, I guess you don't have to if you don't want to. You can just start here. I ramble a lot, so I don't blame you if you just skipped ahead. As I left off, I had finished January, didn't quite hit the end, but I sent what I had to my thesis director to get her starting on grading my novel, what I'd written so far. Not grading it, but reading it over. And I was confident that in just 1 or 2 days, I had like a weekend ahead of me. I was going to finish that weekend. But then something happened. I got a call on Saturday, right before I was about to start my writing session for the day, from my aunt. Actually, I got a text message because the call didn't go through for some reason, but anyway. And my mom was in the hospital. I want to start off by saying she's okay. She's okay, she's home, she's doing great, I think. But she had a really bad fall, which doesn't sound too scary, I guess, in itself. She ended up dislocating her shoulder and shattering her humerus bone, and she like broke the joint between her shoulder and her bone. She ended up needing a full shoulder replacement. She was overnighted to like in an ambulance, whisked away to Maine's big hospital in Portland where she got the surgery, and she basically needed full-time care. And so instead of finishing my book, I packed a suitcase and I moved up to Maine for a week or so, and I stayed with her and basically became her full-time caregiver. That was really an emotional experience in itself. Obviously, I wanted to make sure my mom was comfortable and happy, and I was worried for her. But just like, I had packed my laptop thinking maybe I could do some writing because I assumed she would be napping a lot, which she did, but there just was no way mentally that I could focus on my story as much as I needed to and like fall into that world when I basically was at my mom's beck and call. It was a real role reversal. She kept saying it's like, you know, she was my new newborn baby. That was the joke she kept making, so. But she is recovering well. She's still, you know, on disability at home, and she still's in a sling and can't drive or anything, but she's at least able to take care of herself now that she's through the worst of it. So I'm happy to report that she's doing good. But so I got home mid-February, and at this point I was honestly really sad and kind of just like a mixture of like embarrassed and feeling guilty that I hadn't finished yet. I mean, here I was, like, I told my thesis director that I was going to finish on this January 31st, and it was like February 16th, and I still had so far to go. And I don't think I said, but my thesis is due April 3rd, and so while that still is like a ways away, I needed to make sure she had enough time to read through and edit my book. Like, I was feeling guilty for that reason, like not just for myself, but I was feeling guilty because I knew every single day that longer that it was taking me to finish, I was rushing her that much faster to have to edit this draft and get it back to me so I can go through another round of revisions before I turn my thesis in. And so that just, I hated feeling like I was making someone else's life harder because of choices that I made. That is like my worst fear. I have no problem disappointing myself, but it's not even about disappointing other people, but making their life harder. Like, I never wanted to do that. My cat's at the door. Charlie, go away. I basically had to make a decision to stop wasting energy and time on guilt. And it had to be an active decision. It wasn't like an emotion or feeling that was gonna come naturally. I had to sit myself down and just say, you know what? Guilt. Charlie, I actually wrote something, I'm gonna read it. And it was on just like wanting to be done with guilt. I wrote, I don't care. I don't have one care. I looked high and low, behind closed doors, and I did find one care sulking in a corner in the back of my mind behind some guilt, but I kicked it out. Because my book is due in April and I'm tired of wasting time caring and feeling guilty and feeling like a failure. And it's true because it's such a time waste. Like, I didn't have time anymore, so I didn't have time to feel guilty. I started doing anything and everything to stay motivated and to feel excited about what I was doing. And some of those methods are questionable, but I don't think I'm the first writer to discover them. I mostly picked up the camera to vlog because I'm actually wearing makeup today and I felt like I should document this moment. We've got some writing essentials, large glass of wine, but just one, otherwise you get too sleepy and end up falling asleep. Normally I don't combine these two, but because we're gonna have a late night, a 5-hour energy. And of course, hydration is important. Okay, I just have to show you the mess that has become my drinking choices. So I had one of these bad boys. This is currently empty, 5-hour energy. It's literally how I've been surviving during drafting. I have a beer because when I'm writing a scene I don't want to write, I find drinking a beer helps. I've got water because hydration, hello. And I just poured myself a glass of wine. Can't see it, there it is, for when the beer's over. So we're doing emotionally great, thanks for asking. Oh, and I had a coffee earlier, that's over there. What up? Oh, you can't even see it, all my screens. Yeah, so that's how writing my book is going. And I promise I'm not like relying on it. Like, okay, like I don't have a problem. I don't. Stop looking at me. In February, like I said, I had really convinced myself that like I didn't hit my January 31st deadline, but that I only needed like a couple more days and then for sure I would hit it. And so February, I started this really fun trend of pretty much every single day, I would sit down to write and I would tell myself, this is it, this is the day I'm gonna finish. It is 6 p.m. My goal is to write 16 chapters tonight. No wait, 15, I already wrote one this morning. Can she do it? Well, I'm gonna certainly try. We'll see if I type the end tonight or not. The last few chapters are super short. They're basically each one scene, them in the whole thing. And so it's basically 16 scenes, which sounds a lot less daunting than 16 chapters. And so I think a lot of them are going to have to end up being combined into one chapter. I think I broke them up way too much because it's like every time there was like any hint of a cliffhanger, I was like, oh, new chapter. So, but I'm not even gonna think about that right now. I'm just gonna write and hopefully I can update you with some amazing news early tomorrow morning at like 6 a.m. in 12 hours. Wish me luck. All right, I gave up the makeup thing pretty quickly, as you can see. Me and my friends, Kim and Megan, just hanging out as we have been every night for like 2 months now, unknown to them. Oh God, I seem creepy. I just want to share, I just had the thought, I actually feel really excited tonight, even though I have so much to do. And I realized I am so excited at the thought of being done that it's actually motivating me. And I feel like I've never gotten to that point with homework before. I always just dread it. But now it's like, oh my God, I'm gonna be done. I'm just so excited. So yeah, I have good spirits. Still so much to do. Unfortunately, I think I'm gonna have to turn my friends off here pretty soon just because this morning when I wrote, I realized I did write a lot faster. They've been my saving grace for getting motivated when there wasn't a time crunch, like feeling like I wasn't alone and working with people. But now it's like, okay, I have to just actually sit down and focus, so. But yeah, if I play my cards right, I think I can be done pretty, I don't want to jinx it. Easily is not the right word. I think I'll watch the sun come up, but I think I'm gonna be done. I'm almost at 50K, which is crazy. It's hilarious also that I thought this book would be done at 50K. There's no way. I'm an underwriter, I admit that, but yeah, there's no way. I'm gonna guess it's gonna be like 60 to 65-ish for this draft. And then hopefully I can get that up to like 70 to 80 for a final draft. I think 80 would be like the magic number, or 85. I want to be under 100, but I want to be over 80, ideally. Okay, I'm stalling. Goodbye. Just crossed the 50K line. Well, like a couple hours ago, but I forgot to vlog it. You know, so basically I have 1 nano. It only took me, you know, like 3 years. Don't judge think I really might finish tonight. It's gonna be the most I've ever written in a day, probably. My current count is around 8,000, but I think I'm gonna hit the 5 digits. And it's pretty exciting. Oops, can't even hold the camera. Forgot how to vlog, clearly. And every day I would not. I really thought tonight would be the night. It was the second night in a row. I thought this was the last night, but what happens is I just hit this wall and it's like I just actually can't write anymore because it's all just starting to turn really crappy and like simple sentence-y. Do you hear what I'm saying? Oh, my lips are so chapped. Oh my god, it is so dry in here. They feel like they are gonna crack in half. So I'm just gonna have to do one more night. I do think tomorrow will be the last night. I have 10 or 11 scenes left to write. So, and there's only a couple longer ones. There's 2 I'm not looking forward to just because they're like battle scenes and I'm not really a battle type person. Does anyone really like writing battle scenes? Everyone likes reading them. I actually don't like reading battle scenes. I like action scenes. I usually skim it, which is why I have trouble writing them, but I know they're necessary. So yeah, it's 1:40. Normally I can stay up much later than this, but I think just it's been night after night after night of this, and I'm just, or night after night after night of not getting enough sleep, and it's really starting to affect my stamina and my creative stamina. So tomorrow though I think will be the day. February 24th. Almost a month after I wanted to have it done. No sense fretting. All I can do is move forward. That's what I'm gonna do. I think I just need to accept I can't do 10K days. I just can't. I applaud people who can. I am not one of those people. Maybe one day when I'm not also working a full-time job during work hours and then having to write after work hours. But for now, I accept my limitations. And hey, I'm learning them. Once I decided to let go of the guilt, I didn't feel like on the surface stressed. Like I didn't feel that super stressed out feeling, and like I didn't walk around looking really wiry and everything. But I think under the surface, there must have been an element of stress and anxiety going on because I started to develop this eye twitch. In case you're wondering, which you totally were, I've had an eye twitch for over a month now. I'm not joking. It drives me insane. I can feel it when I put my finger on it, the nerves spasming. And as much as I'm excited to finish this draft for growth and success and degree reasons, the #1 reason right now is so that this eye twitch stops, because I know that's what's doing it. It's whenever I think about my book, my eye starts to twitch. I'm losing my mind. I know it. You don't even have to comment it. I know it. I'm losing my mind. Oh my god. And it did stop when I finished my book. I'm happy to report pretty much immediately, but I will say, when I was sitting down this morning to prep for this, like I have all these notes, it came back. So clearly, I must have like some level of stress linked with this book. And I just hope every time, like I hope once my deadline like is over and I'm just focusing on this book on my own timeline again, that I don't just feel this apparent level of twitching stress every time I think about my book, because that's just gonna be really awkward when I do publish and like go on a book tour and you guys are just gonna see me twitching all the time. Like, that's great. Again, I want to stress too, for like 2 weeks of February, every single night I thought I would finish. All right, it is just after midnight on the 24th, and I have 8 more scenes to go. I really do think I'm finishing tonight, which is crazy. I also think I have developed more stress pimples this week than I have in a really long time. I'm gonna need some Proactive after this book is done. But yeah, just wanted to share. I'm gonna get back to work, but I think this is it. Oh my god. Damn it. Here it is. The wall usually curves between 3,000 to 4,000 words around the hours of 1 to 2 a.m. Oh, my tongue is the color of coffee. That's gross. And I reach a point where all my creativity leaves me. I'm so close. I'm so close. But I think I'm going to finish tomorrow. Tonight is the night. Officially, can feel it. I have 7 scenes left to write. Just 7. And I am like falling apart. My back hurts. My stomach hurts. I'm tired. But I really want to finish tonight very, very badly. And I want to go into the remainder of the week just being able to relax. And we'll see what happens. If I do finish tonight, it's gonna be like a 5 a.m. finish. Oh, my back hurts. I'm so old. Young and thriving. I'm losing my mind. I think it's already gone. Okay, I have to get back writing. Stop distracting me. Go away. Get out of here. It's happening. I've hit the wall. It keeps happening earlier and earlier. It used to be at like 2 or 3 a.m. Last night was 1:30. Now it's only 12:30. I'm really disappointed. I wanted to finish it on the 24th because then it would be on the day Twin Peaks started, and that show was so weird. But also I resonate with it. Okay, so I will finish tomorrow, I guess. I literally only have a few chapters left, and they're gonna be short. But they're important. So that's why I'm like, oh, I should just power through. And now I'm like, I probably shouldn't. I probably should be awake. Or else my thesis director's gonna be like, what are you smoking? I hope Zach's not disappointed in me. I keep telling him tonight's night, and then it just keeps not happening. But tonight, he actually set out the champagne and everything because I really told him, like, I will finish tonight. And so he got it ready to celebrate. One more night. I feel bad. I told her I'd have it to her last weekend, and here it is 3 days later. I know I should feel bad. I know I should, but I have no energy left to feel anything. On that note, good night. Just wanted to share that I am currently writing a chapter that's actually really, really fun, and just wanted to brag because that has not been the case for the majority of the book. But it's like, oh, I'm really digging this scene. This is so fun. I just saw a typo though, so I gotta go. It's 1 a.m. I'm not gonna make it today. I'm not gonna make it. This is what getting old is like, but I can't stay out past like 1:30 anymore. Tomorrow's the day, I guess. That's what I keep saying. It has to be tomorrow though, because I need my life back. I need it. This is what always happens. 1 a.m. hits, I get really tired, and I'm like, no big deal, I'm gonna make myself a cup of tea, and by the time the tea's done boiling, I am like next stage exhausted. I should always know that if it comes to the point where I need tea or coffee after midnight, it's already too late. No, that looks dumb. It's a full moon tonight, so I'm hoping maybe this will give me the extra boost of energy I need to finish it. I just got 4 more chapters and an epilogue. And trust me when I say my chapters are like 1 scene each, so they're pretty short, so I think maybe I can do it. Could it be tonight? I'm trying to stay ahead of my energy level. I think that's the mistake I've been making before. I would wait till I was tired to have another cup of coffee, but I'm trying to stay ahead of it now. It's Friday night, I don't have to worry about waking up early tomorrow, so let's do this, please. I'd love to finish today so I could have the weekend. I almost quit for the night. I'm hitting the wall. I even wrote down my final word count. Then I was like, Haley, you are finishing this book tonight. Honestly, the biggest motivation is the fact that I want that feeling of waking up tomorrow morning and not having anything to do. I haven't felt that in so long. I would love that feeling. So that is what is powering me through right now. I want to be able to do nothing tomorrow. Oh, I can do this. I didn't finish again. But I did a whole extra hour, so that's 1 hour less for tomorrow, which is okay. I didn't want to pop champagne this late at night anyway, so take that. I am super close though, like super close. And I think I officially passed, or probably am close to passing, the word count of my first draft, which is kind of cool. It's getting longer. And hopefully I can update you with some amazing news. I think I really might finish tonight. I really thought tonight would be the night. I really do think I'm finishing tonight. Damn it. Tonight is the night. Officially can feel it. It's happening. I've hit the wall. I'm not gonna make it today. I'm not gonna make it. Could it be tonight? I didn't finish again. But despite failing constantly and not writing the end, I kept going. I didn't have a choice, I kept going. And then finally, my real last day came. Okay, I am summoning all good energy today. I'm wearing my skull sweater. So, I mean, it's for the cursed child, but you know. And I procrastinated a little bit by adding up my word count of my first draft, which I had it in separate documents each chapter, so I actually didn't know my total off the top of my head, and it's 63,893 words, so I'm still just a little bit under that, but I'm definitely gonna pass it, which is good. I'm a huge underwriter, so. And I think today's the day, February 27th, putting it out there in the universe for the last time. If I don't finish today, I am gonna stop saying I'm finishing today. But I'm feeling good about today. Mostly because it's not already midnight. Like, I've got the whole day ahead of me, so we're doing good. This is the final countdown. Oh my god. I hear that little baby. We're almost done. Psych, there's no baby in there. Just donuts. I'm losing my mind. I'm about to finish. I'm on the epilogue. Sorry, that's Kim Chance and Megan LaCroix. My friends who've been writing with me all this time. I am about to finish. Thought I would document the moment a bit. Don't really know where to put this though. Bring it down so you don't see. I finished. 7:00 p.m. February 27th, 2021, I finished my second novel. Because yes, I do count it as a second book. Because I had to rewrite the entire thing from scratch. What's my word count? 66,104. So it's still very short. It needs a lot of fluffing and sprucing, but it's done. But first, I'm gonna send it to my thesis advisor because I'm done. For now. For a few days. A funny story really quick. I wanted to tell Zach right away, but then when I did actually write the end, I wanted to just send it off because I wanted to get it to my thesis advisor as quickly as possible so she could start reading it. And so I was like, okay, I'm just gonna send Zach like a voice memo on my phone saying I was done, but that I'll be coming down shortly, and we'll celebrate with him then. But then, like, as soon as I hit send, I regretted it and I was like, no, I wanna tell him in person. And so that's what I mean at the start of this clip. Zach? Zach, wait, no, don't listen to it. I realized I wanted to tell you in person.
Congratulations, baby. Good job. Excuse me.
Oh wait, you just go in the bathroom now? Wow, look at this den. Haven't been in there in ages. I'm just kidding. Where are you going? Well, I have to send it. So hold that. Oh my gosh.
Do you want to open or you want me to open?
You do it because I'm really scared. Aw, we have, excuse our mess, but we live here, so. And cleaning hasn't really been on my radar, as you can imagine. Oh my gosh, we've engaged.
I had first engagement, first book. Yeah.
Well, it's the second book I've written. I'm calling it the second book I've written because I had to rewrite the whole thing and I deserve the credit of having written 2 books now. I was actually rereading the first draft though, and I was like, you know what? Some of this isn't too bad. Maybe I didn't have to rewrite the whole thing, but oh well.
So what you're saying is all the stress and torment was for
a little, yeah. Oh my gosh, my teeth are so yellow. I've had a lot of coffee this month. Oh wait, hold on. Okay, I'm scared. Oh my god, that was way louder than I thought it would be. It's smoky. Careful, it's gonna... We're supposed to drink this for New Year's, but we actually just forgot, so we have it now. Thanks, honey. You're pouring a lot in that one.
Oh, sorry. That one's for you.
Actually, I guess it wasn't that much different.
Congratulations, Haley. I'm so proud of you.
Thanks, honey. Oh, video of me drinking. Such a rare occurrence.
First known sighting of Haley drinking alcohol.
Yeah, my first sip of alcohol this week, crazy. Okay. I'm gonna go, I have to send it to my thesis director now. Wouldn't it be terrible if like my laptop died? Whew. Just kidding, it's all online anyway. And then I don't even know what I'm gonna do. Probably play Sims. But I don't know if I don't know. I'm just gonna sit on the couch and do nothing. It's gonna be amazing. Really, what do you think? Mommy finished her book. Literally couldn't care less.
Congratulations, Mommy, I'm so proud of you.
Yeah. He just wants to know when it's food time. Thanks, Charlie. Thanks, honey. Zach was so sweet. Like I said, every single day I was telling him I was gonna finish, and I wasn't. And so for days, every day, he would bring out the champagne, put the glasses down, because that's kind of like our tradition. That's what he did when I finished this book. And every night I would have to like crawl into bed and be like, I didn't finish. It was kind of funny, but also really sad. But he must have known that, like, he did eventually stop doing that, but he must have known the Saturday that I did end up finishing that was the real day, because when I did come down, as you saw in the clips, it was already set up, which was really cute. So there you go. That is how I wrote my book in the pandemic. Painfully, slowly, draggingly, but with remembered fun, sometimes forced fun. And I did it, and I feel really proud of myself. I feel more proud of myself this round than I did the first one, just because like it was so hard. It was so hard, and I don't know how much these clips reflected that, but it was really difficult. And I thought really quick before I talk more about the hard parts, I'll share like some quick tips to summarize like what I did that worked for me. The first one, and I really believe it's the most important, I got enough sleep. I feel like that is very uncommon advice as far as like creatives go. Like a lot of people talk about and almost brag about how little sleep they get, but I knew my brain worked best when I was on a full night's sleep, and my mood was better. And when my mood was better, I wanted to write. Like I'm not one of those people that likes to write when I'm moody and brooding. Like I feel bad when I feel that way, and I don't want to write. And so it was when I was really happy. And anyway, yeah, so sleep. As painful as it was, I allowed myself the time to pause and outline. It was really mentally difficult to make that choice because I felt this urge and this panic to want to just like start writing the words as quickly as possible. But I needed that. I needed to sit down and see the big picture so that I was going with a direction. Sorry, Charlie. Another thing is I would allow myself recovery days. Kind of like with exercising. Like they tell you when you're just starting off, and like even when you're not, like, you know, you work really hard for a couple days, then you take a day off. You work really hard, take a day off, or you have at least one recovery day a week. I did that too. I would take a day off, a couple days off. When I had submitted a huge chunk of my work, I would take off like a full weekend and maybe plus some. I didn't let myself take off more than a week though, because after that 1 week mark, I would start to just lose that routine I had finally built for myself. And that's when I would, you know, start to lose the story a little bit, and it was a lot harder for me to dive back into it. Like basically from my NaNoWriMo blog into the start of this one in January, I had taken definitely too much time off, and it was really hard for me to get going again. I found out routine really does work. That's my next tip. Charlie! I'm gonna have to let him in. What's wrong? What's wrong with the baby? You gotta be a good boy or else you can't stay. Oh, you're already being bad. Come here. You want to say hi to the vlog? He's so big now. Look how big he is. You saw him last when he was a kid. Look at this thing. He's bigger than our adult cat. So I guess he's an adult now, huh? He's gonna be 9 months old, aren't you? He's a cutie. Why do you smell like beef stew? Were you on the counter? You can't be playing with paper. I'm gonna have to kick you out again. It's gonna be very sad for you. It's gonna be sad. But yeah, routine does work. And this was something that like I've read about For example, in like Stephen King's On Writing book, he talks a lot, and pretty much every professional writer, honestly, don't chew that, no. Talks about how, you know, obviously when I hit my creative wall, I didn't want to force myself to keep going. However, there definitely is something to be said about even when you're not feeling it, if you just start at least setting the habit of writing, stop chewing that. What am I trying to say? Your mind is gonna know to focus, and every single day I would get more into my routine. It got easier and easier and easier. One thing that I did too was I would like write my word counts down that I wrote. And I got this idea from Kim Chance's video that she would do. And I could like, so in the blue, you can see that's when I would write. So this is February, for example, when I finished. And like, you know, I had to take that week and a half off to care for my mom. And so like the day that I got back, I only wrote 192 words, like that was it. And then the next day I didn't even write. The day after that I wrote 1,000, and then soon I was writing 2,000, and then 3,000, and then 4,000, almost 5,000. And I just kept getting better and better. And like again with January, like the first day I sat down to actually write, I only wrote 700 words. And then within days I was averaging like 2,000 to 3,000 words. And so I did kind of gradually work into it, but it went to show it was making progress by keeping up with it. He chews on everything. Oh my God, I'm gonna kill him. Another thing I did, this is more of a practical tip, but I found this so helpful when I was outlining. I used an actual planner and like looked at a real calendar, even if you're not like using that year, but just using it as a baseline to like remember what days certain things happen and like be able to like pace things so that way I wasn't accidentally having like 5 Fridays in a row or going like 8 days without like a weekend or something like that. And so I actually ended up using the planner for 2020. Hey, I'm filming, you're being very loud. I figured like it was my own little joke because like 2020 was like the year that didn't happen anyway, so I might as well make a story out of it. And so even though in my book I never say it's the year 2020, but that's the calendar year that I picked, if you're ever curious when reading it. And so that was really helpful. And then each day I like wrote what action took place that day. And it just was nice to actually like space it out that way. So that's just like a little practical tip of what I did. Another thing that got me like actually focused on finishing was reminding myself that for this first draft, I needed to just focus on the structure and the characters. So like the big picture stuff. Because what was happening when I would first sit down to draft and to write was I was getting so hung up on the fact that the writing felt clunky. I felt like my writing had gotten worse because I'd taken so much time off. And I just had to have like the realization and to remind myself that like, you can go back and make a sentence pretty. That's a pretty easy revision. That's the easy part of editing and revising. But it's the big picture stuff like the scenes and the character motivations and the action itself. That stuff is a lot harder to revise. And so if you're feeling self-conscious about like, oh my God, I'm using this repetitive phrase way too many times, which I do, by the way. Or I've been using this one word too many times, or I started the sentence with and too many times, or oh my God, this sentence is way too long or way too short. Don't even worry about that in this draft. Like, I'm not saying like I'm a full, don't chew that. I'm not saying like I'm a full believer in like just write even if it sucks. Like with this draft, I did take my time to try and make sure I was like not wasting time doing such a terrible job that it was going to be useless. But I definitely agree with it in some aspects for sure, especially when it comes to the writing itself. So if you're going to focus on something, focus on the big picture stuff is my advice and what I did. You are not biting me. Are you biting me? We don't bite. Do we, mister? You look like a little turtle face. And finally, the most important tip, and one I really realized writing this book, was reminding myself that I wanted to have fun with it. Like, I'm doing this because I want to do this, and I wanted to make sure Like if I wasn't enjoying a certain aspect of my story, like I said with this draft, I wasn't enjoying the tone of it. It wasn't a book that I was really interested in. I had to sit down with myself and ask myself why I wasn't enjoying that. And so honestly, like, I feel like these clips themselves were fairly positive, because if I was having a really down moment or panicky moment, I didn't really film it. I just kind of felt those emotions. You know, I had said that overall I didn't quite feel stressed, which is true, but I did have moments towards the end. Like I remember one particularly bad weekend. It was like the worst weekend. I thought I was gonna finish that weekend, and then we ended up, like something came up, we ended up having plans, and I just knew, like, it was hitting me the reality that I wasn't gonna finish when I wanted to. This was in February, and I ended up having like a full-on breakdown in the shower. Like I'm talking sobbing. I was sobbing, just standing in the shower sobbing, feeling like such a disgusting failure in myself, and like I'd been given all this potential and I had just completely thrown it out the window. And that ended up being the week before I finished, so I was so close to finishing. But that's what I mean, like this was really hard. It was the most mentally challenging thing I've ever done. I told Zach, and it's so true, like this is the first time in my life I feel like I've really tried. Like I actually tried my best and my hardest to achieve something. And at 28 years old, that is not a brag, that is actually really sad. But you know, I'm not gonna beat myself up about it, but it's just I realized like the sense of accomplishment I do feel and the joy that I do feel has taught me so much about wanting to commit and finally stick to my own goals. And I just have become such a happier person, I swear. Like I just feel just really empowered with that knowledge. Don't chew that. If I could learn how to train a cat though, that would be great if you have tips. You know, I did feel like I was failing a lot. I actually wrote something in my phone because this became like a really mini diary for me, my little notes app, because I finally figured out how to use notes. I don't just text myself anymore. I have the notes. But yeah, so I wrote this kind of as something that I wanted to say, and I could just kind of say it word for, like I just kind of want to read it word for word what I wrote because I think it's powerful, but it's something I wanted to make sure I said in a video. Part of me sulked for a while about failing again after proclaiming a win again. So if you're in that same boat, you're not alone. And if you're tired of watching me fail on this channel, I have got bad news for you. I am going to fail a lot. What's that quote about failing your way to the top? That's me. And I know it gets repetitive. Trust me, I know that more than anyone. But I'm not going to stop. It's just not in my nature. And it's true, like, I think above all, the best thing I've learned out of all of this, other than the importance of routine and believing in myself, as corny as that sounds, and not just believing in myself, but realizing what happens when I actually give something 100% versus the usual like 70% that I give. It's reassured me how much I do want this. Like I want to be a writer. I have definitely had moments in the past couple years, like when I first finished this book before, and before I even finished that, like I had the thought of becoming a writer in 2013, and I didn't finish my first book until 2017. It took me 4 years to write one book, and it's not like I was working on other things during that time. Like, I mean, I was working on other things, but I just mean it's not like I was writing other things. I just would have free time and I would just want to watch TV, or I would just want to play on the computer. And I thought, I worried what that meant. Like, does that mean I don't want to be a writer? Like, how come writing feels like such hard work to me? And you know why it feels like hard work? Because it is hard work. And I realize that now, and I realize it's just something that I think if it feels like such hard work, it means you're fighting it. Like, I was trying to write the wrong thing, because when I just sit down and relax, I remembered why I loved writing in the first place, because I wrote before I even decided to be a writer. But I just didn't care about finishing, so I never finished anything because I would just write whatever the heck I wanted. But during this, in the darker times, I would daydream about how it would feel to just give all this up, to just quit my program, to never upload another video, to just stop writing and to just work during the day, and afterwards not have to do homework, not have to do my thesis, not have to worry about editing a video and uploading and subscribers and all that stuff. Not that I'm really worried about that anyway, but I imagined how it would feel to just like have a day job and not be trying to do anything else. I would like daydream about it because I would think for a moment like, oh my God, that would feel so nice. Like when I graduate, I could just like stop. Like I don't have to do this, it's a choice. I could just stop and like, oh my God, wouldn't that feel such a relief? But when I would sit there and think about it, I would immediately be filled with this sense of emptiness. And it wasn't just like not writing that was making me feel empty, but it was just like not having that dream. And so as trying as these last couple months have been, and really this last year of the pandemic when it comes to my writing life, I have realized that I really do love this, and this is what I want to do, because once I got out of my own head and got out of my way and wrote with my own voice and just stopped worrying about everything else, I remembered how much I loved it. And I think it's a testament that I was able to sit for like 6, 8, 10 hours during the weekend especially in one seat and do one thing. And as much as like I would get bored and want to do something else, I didn't hate it so much that I felt I had to stop. I still liked it and I kept returning every single day. I realized it's the work itself that was making me stressed and finishing that made me want to like quit. But once I got out of my own way and once I turned off the guilt, I had a blast. I did. And I genuinely enjoyed it. And I mean, I still have those feelings for sure of like, oh my God, I have to go back and fix this chapter, and like, is this good enough? And oh my gosh, when I do publish it one day, like, what are the readers gonna think? And what if they hate it? And like, I definitely have those not fun feelings, but overall, I have been filled with a better sense of like, this is what I wanna do. This is what I'm gonna keep aiming for. I'm not gonna stop even if it takes me a million days of saying today's the day. I'm just gonna keep going. Also, I have to give a huge shout out to my biggest support during all of this, and that is my husband. He like took over control of the house and like caring for the house, we live in an apartment. Took over caring for the apartment, caring for the cats. Obviously the week that I was actually gone, taking care of my mom, but just like also the couple months that I basically just lived in my office. And not to say like I always do that, like we normally just split it, like, you know, we're equal that way, but he just took over everything. He cooked dinner every night, he did all the dishes, he did laundry, he did everything while I was just a slug up here. And also he always filled me with encouragement. A little encouragement this evening from my husband. He's so cute. And the other, I can't tell if they were like a cheerleader or they were actually a distraction, but my cats. Hey, oh my gosh. You were doing so good, no. Charlie, everyone, who likes to sit outside my office door, even when it's open. I guess he gets the best of both worlds. It's to watch me and watch downstairs. You never know when Big Sis is gonna walk by and he can torment her. I like to think that they give me, you know, creative muse, but muse. But the jury's still out on that one. So there you have it. That's how I wrote my book, and I am happy to say my thesis advisor did grade it in record time. She's phenomenal, she's amazing. She gave me the highest compliment ever, which I think, I don't know, I needed the ego boost. I don't know how honest it was, but she said, because I handed in like the last half and she finished reading it and writing notes in like 4 days. And I was like, oh my God. And she said like, because I had apologized a million billion times. I'm like, I'm so sorry it took so long. I'm so sorry, because I finished February 27th. And so if we wanted a month to do revisions, that meant she only had a few days and she was able to meet that. And so, but she said to me, she was like, I know you think like I had to rush it, but she's like, honestly, the reason I could do it so fast is because I so genuinely needed to know what happened next. And I was just like, oh my God. And she gave me the best news of my life. The reason I am still riding high, a few days now it's been since our meeting, she said that as it stands right now, I have met the requirements of the thesis, which means essentially I could just like tighten it up and be done. I'm not gonna do that, but like I have a lot of like things and directions I want to take it and things I want to work on, which I'll talk about in a whole other video because I don't want this to be another super long video, but I'm like so close to being done. And it's March, what is today? I'm afraid to say the date because like who knows how long it's gonna take me to edit this, and like then you guys are gonna figure out how long it took me. But right now it's March 12th. And my thesis is due April 3rd, so I have like about 2.5-ish weeks to finish my revisions and do the work on it that I want to do. From there, you know, she also kind of gave notes. She gave notes on like, we decided what I should work on at least just to publish for the thesis, and then she gave kind of like big picture notes for when I want to actually publish. And she said something like, also so flattering. I think this is the thing I love, other than like all of the wonderful knowledge I'm learning, but I love most about being in this program in particular is how much our professors take us seriously, because I mean, they do it. Like they know that being a writer is hard, but that it's not this unattainable dream because they're all doing it. So it's a bit of success bias going on. But the way they talk to you about it, just, oh my God, it's like the best feeling because she said, she's like, we want to make sure when you publish your thesis that we don't want to publish it to a public domain. And so she's like, that's something that you're going to want to double check on when you publish it, to ask that it remains private, at least for other candidates in my program, because when I go to publish it, traditionally or whatever, a lot of, like I'll need exclusive publishing rights most likely, and I can't have it already published even in an archive. And just like when she said that, I just was like, my first thought was like, you think I'm gonna be published? It's like I was like listening to what she was saying, but the whole time my brain was like, oh my God, she thinks this can be published. Oh my God, oh my God. So that was a really cool feeling too. I hope I said everything I like meant to say. I feel like this was kind of all over the place, but like it's kind of hard for me to sit and like really think about the last 2 months. They were wonderful. They were, and I can only say that now in retrospect, because in the time they did not feel wonderful, but it just felt so like, I feel like I've been searching for that experience and that journey for so long, of like really allowing myself to just completely be encompassed by my writing and by my world of writing, and not let other distractions take me away. And while that certainly did happen, especially in the beginning of February, and I did, you know, still Zoom chat with people sometimes on the weekends, or Zach and I, like we had our anniversary in February, or in like Valentine's Day, for the most part I was able to allow myself to selfishly turn the world off and just come into this little den of mine in my office and just write. And I discovered doing that I loved it for sure, and that was a great feeling. I feel really confident about this book. I'm so excited to talk more about it, but for now I just wanted to share my vlogs of the last couple months, share my journey, and I'm sure I missed a million billion points and things I wanted to say, but I can't talk forever. I mean, I could, but I won't. So if you have any questions at all, let me know in the comments below. I'm happy to answer anything, and I will see you guys soon for my revisions vlog, which I think I'm not really gonna do a sit down like this. I think I'm just gonna have it be more traditional author journal vlog style. But we'll see. I might end up doing a sit down. I don't really know. I haven't started filming it yet, if you needed to know that. We haven't quite started the revisions. I've taken a little break, which I think I've taken too long of a break. I'm a little worried about that because I'm going against my own advice, but all right, I'll see you guys in the next video, which is so crazy. Oh my gosh, I just realized the next video I see you guys in, I'll have turned in my thesis. I'll have turned in my novel. Oh my God. I'll see you guys then. Bye. I am never writing a fantasy with magical elements ever again. After this book comes out and the sequels or whatever, never again. It is terrible. I cannot figure out the magic. How do people do this? I keep changing my mind. If you read my book and you find plot holes, I don't care. I'm at that point. If there are plot holes, I just don't care. I don't care. Don't at me. Don't come at me. Don't message me. I don't care. That will be my answer. I don't care. I wrote it and it's done, and you will get a plot hole cookie, plot hole discovery cookie. Because at this point, like, I just know I'm forgetting something. I think I figured it out.